So now instead of these docs, example and tutorial, we are willing to render our own components like this about and that contact section. So if I just navigate to these links like contact, and so here we have our contact form, and if I just switch to that about, here we have our about page, right? Great. So instead of having these options like docs, example and tutorials, we are now going to create navigation for our home page, for our contact and for our about page. Okay, so to do that we have to go somewhere, right? So somewhere where we had defined our navigations. So where is that? So to see this, we have to, I think, go to this component about, okay, this component page, and here we have our header routes, right? So in this section, if you go there, so here you will find these navigation, and these keys are coming from somewhere. So key.m.key, and here is this head. So this head is coming from use.docs, and this head, no, route head. Okay, starter. In this starter we have our head section, and here in this head section we have the CSS module, and here we have our TSX. Okay, so in that header section we have all our links, right? So this is our docs, this is example, and this is tutorial, and all of these three links have basically move you apart from your own application, right? So instead of using all these, what we are going to do, we are going to create our own headers, right? Great. So to do this, either we can also use this, right? So instead of these links, we can simply replace this with our components. Like if I am just willing to specify this, okay, this page should bring me to my home page. So I am just replacing this text to home, and the link to our home page. So this link should be our about page. So instead of, I'm just typing this instead of, and replacing this link to this about, like so, right? And instead of this link, I'm willing to have my last section, which is, I think, it's we have in our route section, we have contact, right? So instead of that about, instead of these, so I am just going to replace this with contact page. So here I'm also replacing the text, CONTSCT, and just after saving all this, if I go to my browser, you will see this, my link were now getting replaced with home, about and contact. And now if I just click on this home page, it will give me switch to my home page. If I click on about page, it will comes to my about page. If contact page, it will opens my contact page, like so, right? So either you can use this this way, okay, or instead of doing all this, you can also create your own navigation from the sketch, right? So for now I just leaving this header as it is, and here I am willing to create my own nav link, right? So the first tag which I am going to use is nav tag, right? And in this nav tag I am going to use this ul tag, and in this ul tag I am going to use that li tag, right? So we have three links, so for three links I am going to use three li tags, right? And instead of using that a tag, that is this anchor text, I am going to use something else, right? So what is that something else? So instead of using all this, I am going to use link tag, okay? And this link tag is provided by builder.io.qwik, right? So basically I have to, so what I had done, I had basically restart the server, okay? So that is why it was creating some issue, right? So now we have all of the three links like home, this one is the about, this one is the contact. So now the only task which I have is to give some styles to this, right? So at initial, this style is coming from this header dot module dot css, and where it is, so it is there in that component section, and in that component here we have this header dot module dot module.module.css. So all of this styling is coming from here, right? So instead of using all these styles, what I am thinking of to use something different, because I had changed the structure, right? Okay, so right now I am going to give some another styling to my component, and as you can see, if I just refresh, it doesn't change anything, but let's see if it is works, but if it is working or not. So the header part, so header means like this class, right? So the uppermost. So to this header, if I just want to confirm this everything is working fine, I just want to give this white, and if that was working, it should give a color of background to blue violet. Okay, but it is not working like this. Okay, even though if I refresh this page, so what I think I need to do is to shut down the server and restart, right? So now I think okay, so now it is going to work like so. So sometimes this problem is happening. I don't know why it is, why this is working like this or doing such behavior. It should not do that. So if I had just removed this, okay, it's updating. So now my work is to make everything right. So instead of doing all this, I am just going to give a display of flex and justify content to space between, and I think this should be enough. Okay, so I have to give the width to 100%. So to give the width to 100%, so, and just to see if from where it started and from where it ends, I'm just going to give a border to it, border, and that border should be border, border, and border should be like 1 pixels solid black. I think that would be good. Okay, so the border is there, and I had given that flex, justify content, everything is good, but still my li tag doesn't works. Okay, because of all of these are in nav tag, right? So instead of giving this style to that header section, I have to give to that nav one, right? So this is going to work, right? So now this is my nav section. I am giving this nav section width of 100%, and all of the other elements which is there, like my li tag will be there, and that should spread in that zone, but it was not happening. So just to make sure that okay, everything is working fine or not, if I just change this to end, this is going to change this position. Okay, that is doing great. So justify content space between, and space between is not working there, right? So why it is so? I think we have a ul tag, right? Okay, so instead of this giving this nav, I also go one layer deep and give this ul tag, this property, and now it's work fine. Okay, great. So instead of giving this 100% of width, I am thinking of to give it like 50%. right? That would be good. And right now I am just going to remove this border like so, and to that ally tags I am going to give some styles like background colors should be white, background color should be white, whatever, and text should be, and the color of the text should be black, and I'm going to give some padding, so it's padding like 3 pixels, border of 1 px, white and solid, and border radius of 6 pixels, border radius of 6 pixels. I think that would be good. Okay, great. So instead of giving this space between, I am just going to give you a start. It's basically start from a start, and instead of all this I am going to give some gap, row gap. I think row gap would be good. I'm going to row gap of 3 rem, and that 3 rem would be good. Okay, row gap or column gap. So if I'm just going to use this gap, it is going to work like good. Okay, so instead of these 3 rem, I'm going to use this 2 rem, and now it's looking good. But I think I am also going to specify like on hover its color should be changed, so that anyone can understand, okay, something changes. So I just want to specify properties for hover, right? And if someone hover this link, the background color should change to black, and text should be changed to white. That is okay. Now if I just hover on this, so it's not about the text, right? So let's just change the background color, not that color, because that color should be applied to that anchor text, right? Not that link tag. Okay, so leave that. I'm just going to change color to a little bit like gray, not even gray, a little, I think gray would be good. Yeah, that is fine, right? Like so, if I just click on home page, it will navigate to home page, about page, contact page, and it is not looking so much great, but yeah, it is doing everything whatever we want to do. So right, so as you can see this, we had created our links. So like so, you can also create our links. You can use that link tag from builder.io.quickcity, right, and apply like so. So what is the another thing which we had initially thinking of to do is, so we had implemented our navigation. So this way we can do our navigation. But what other task I am thinking of to do? Okay, so at the present, if you are looking at this thing, so the section which you are getting, like this is the header, this is the footer, like okay, so this is the header, this is the footer. So where is this header and footer coming from for all any for every page? Like if I click on about page, the header is there, footer is there. If I click on contact page, header is there, footer is there. So from where all of these are coming from and how to change this? Okay, so in next video I am going to explain that, right? So for this video, I think this is enough, and I am getting some tired. I'm going to eat something, so we'll start the series from the next one. Thank you.